Well, thank you for staying with us. The Nigerian marketing communications industry has no doubt grown in leaps and bounds despite the harsh operating environment and the disruption caused by COVID-19 pandemic. Against this backdrop, business owners and custodians of brands in the Nigerian marketing environment have continued to witness tremendous success going by the advancements in technology and growing consumer markets. Looking back into the last few years and the activities of marketing communications industry, it is easy to conclude that history is being rewritten for the better as Nigerian agencies have competed on global scenes and won laurels beyond bringing Nigeria into global reckoning, giving foreign creative firms a run for their money. Well, to give us more insight into the overall performance of the entire sector, of course, and what we should expect at the forthcoming conference, I'm being joined live in the studio, the Managing Director of Republicum Group, Mr. Tunji Adeyinka. Thank you so much, and it's the first time on the show. We really appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Tolu. It's good to be here.
Yeah, I want to start this way. We were talking earlier with Mr. Jayola when I was speaking to him. I talked about Nigeria, the way we sell our brand as a country. I think I want to start on that note.
Okay.
What is your take with our brand Nigeria, and what are you professionals doing to make sure that the right message is being sent out there?
Okay. I was listening to the interview, and I caught what Mr. Jayola was saying, and it struck me that one of the topics that we've highlighted for the upcoming conference, the conference which is the National Advertising Conference, is actually going to be speaking to the issue of the national brand, which is a stronger brand and a stronger nation. And I had a chat with the speaker a few days ago just to understand how he was thinking about this topic. And he was speaking to the synergy between a national brand and the business brands that you have within the locale. So he was speaking to how both brands reinforce themselves. So if you look at our situation in Nigeria with the challenges that we have, you could easily jump to the conclusion that this is a basket case and we have serious issues. But again, it depends on how you look at it. The cup could either be seen to be half empty or half full. Because as you see those negative stories and the big challenges that we face, the hyperinflation and all of those, you also see the entrepreneurial attitude of young Nigerians. You see what Nigerians are achieving all over the world in technology, in sports, in entertainment, and so on and so forth. And you can see the resilience in Nigerians and Nigerian businesses. So if you look at a Nigerian brand, whether it is projected or defined or not, the Nigerian brand is the brand that continues to define itself outside Nigeria. It defines itself in its resilience, defines itself in its enterprise and the innovation. And what we're seeking to do as a marketing communications industry, as part of what we'll be speaking about in the next few minutes, is to begin to galvanize those conversations and to show both government and the private sector how we can synergize and really grow this brand and begin to tell stories that in a few years are different from what the reality that Mr. Jayola has shown a few minutes ago.
A lot of innovation, of course, technical advancements in recent times. What is it, a plus or a minus?
It's a plus because if you look at the challenges that we have, the challenges of disposable income, which has greatly reduced, the challenges of inflation, which is pricing growing very fast, the foreign exchange challenges and all the other issues that you have in the economy. It forces advertisers to begin to look at more efficient ways to reach the target audience, the consumers. So the advertisers need to be very smart as to how they reach the people they want to speak to, because people are not buying the kind of big packs or premium products that they used to buy. People are trading down and buying products that are less expensive than they used to buy. So it forces marketing and marketing communications to be more accountable, which means that you then need to begin to speak more to data Are you targeting the right people? Are you speaking to them in the right language? And then to also see the return on investment, the return on the marketing investment and what you're spending. So as that continues to grow, then it forces the industry to be more innovative and to be more result-oriented.
Let's now go to the conference now. What should we expect at this gathering? Like you said, the biggest advertising gathering for the biggest advertising issues.
Excellent. So in 2009, the first National Advertising Conference took place in Abuja, and it brought together, there are three pillars in our industry. First is the advertisers or the brand owners. Then you have the agencies who are like service providers to the brands. And third is the media, which is not just like yourself, but also digital media platforms and the rest of them. So took place in 2009, and then COVID happened, a few other things happened, so we couldn't have the follow-up. So 2022 is the follow-up. The regulator for this industry is the Advertising Regulation Council of Nigeria.
That's ARCON, right? That's a new...
Yes, that is ARCON. But then you then have the players within the industry that sit in what you call the sectoral groups. You have the AAAN, which is for the advertising agencies. You have MIPAN, which is for the media planners. You have ADVAN, which is for the advertisers. You have BORN, which is broadcasters like yourself. You have XMAN, which is the experiential side of the business. And then you have OAN, which is for the outdoor companies. So this entire span will be sitting together to discuss some topical issues. The theme for this year is marketing communications industry, trends, challenges and prospects. So they would be speaking to those topics, and it starts on the 29th of November, which is a Tuesday. So in the evening of the 29th, you have what we call a fireside chat with an icon, which is someone who has practiced marketing, who has worked in marketing 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, no matter how far back. And this year we're bringing Professor Chris Ogbeche, who is a professor at the Lagos Business School. Yes, exactly.
He taught me at the time.
He did, exactly.
For a program.
Yeah, but do you know that Chris Ogbeche was a marketing director at Nestle?
Wow. Never.
Exactly. Yeah. So he was marketing director at Nestle. So Professor Ogbeche is going to be sitting down and then speaking to someone and recalling how marketing was in those days, and then understanding and then looking at how it has changed today. What are the things that we can learn from those years, and what are the new trends that have emerged? That is on Tuesday evening. Then on Wednesday, we then start the business proper. And to start the business, we have the opening ceremony, but after the opening ceremony, we then go into what Mr. Jayola spoke about. We need to talk about the state of the economy, because our business exists within the economy. So we have an economist who is going to be speaking to us about the economy, the prospect, what is likely to happen in 2023 and going forward. Then immediately after that, then we then look at the size of the market. What is the size of the marketing communications market, as it were? And the Chief Revenue Officer of TVC is going to be speaking to that topic.
Yes, Ronald Redmond.
So it's going to be a very, very interesting thing, because you have figures, you have media figures a lot of times. You can easily dial up figures for media, maybe digital, but how do you then bring the numbers from below the line? How do you bring the numbers, how much is spent in sales activations, in direct marketing and the rest of them? So Ronan has a very, very tough job. Which
he does. And I'm sure he's always good at that. When it comes to the figures, exactly. He knows how to break it down and let you understand what you should.
Exactly. So he's going to be talking to the size of the market. And then after that, then we take another plenary where we're going to be speaking to Strong Nation and Stronger Brand. Stronger Brand, Stronger Nation. And after that, we then have the last session for the day where we're speaking to the new advertising regulatory law, the ARCON law. Yes. The interesting thing is that after each of these plenaries, you have a panel.
Great.
So first plenary, you have a panel, 3-4 people sitting around to speak about what the plenary has just spoken to. So first day we have that layout, and then we then end around 5-6. Then we go to the final day, which is now
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday now.
And on Thursday, we're now having 3 parallel sessions going on, and very interesting because the parallel sessions, you're going to have topics around media measurement. You're going to have topics around the regulation for digital marketing. How is it done in other markets? You're going to be talking about brand experience in the digital age. You're going to be speaking to inclusiveness and diversity in the marketing communications business. You're going to be speaking to trends in outdoor. You're going to speak into, so all these topics are going to be happening 3 different rooms as breakout sessions. And one of the rooms will be dedicated to academics. So you will be speaking to academic research which has taken place in recent times around the industry. There's a topic around the new generation, from Gen Z to Gen Alpha.
Very important.
How do you speak to them? How do you target them?
Very
and so on and so
important,
forth.
yeah.
Yeah. So and then so you have 3 different rooms going on in parallel, and you can choose where you want to go to. When we finish all of that by 2 p.m., after lunch 2 p.m., we then have what we call a town hall meeting with Alcon, with the DG of Alcon, Dr. Lekon Fadolapo. So that town hall meeting is that the entire industry would sit down, and they'll be able to interrogate, they'll be able to ask questions, they'll be able to make comments, and so on and so forth in that session. And then after that session, we break, and then we go for the dinner, the gala night that will take place at 7 p.m. The highlight of the gala night is the ASP, the Compliance Awards. So for every advert that is released on different stations, you have to go through the advertising standards group. So when that happens, is that you then are going to reward those who went through that process religiously in the past year, and those companies will be awarded or rewarded in that session as part of the dinner. So I'm very excited, just thinking about this, because there is a huge amount of learning, a huge amount of gravitas that is going to be on display for these 2.5 days, and which is why we're really encouraged by the number of people who have registered to be at the conference.
Well, it's really.
I hope you're going to be there.
Yeah, I should be there. I should be in Port Harcourt on Monday. I should likely to be in Abuja maybe Tuesday. I'll try to be there.
Excellent.
But there's a lot of stuff still going on around the sector. Nigeria is still losing some money one way or the other in the advertising industry. A 2-in-1 question.
Yeah.
After all your meetings and the gatherings and your breakout sessions, are you coming up with anything for government?
Beautiful. So we identified that, these days you don't just want to have a talk shop where we speak, we're happy, and everybody goes their way. Yeah, so this time around, as we also did the last time, we're going to have a group of rapporteurs.
Good.
So we put together the action points from the different sessions, from session 1 to the last session. And the report is going to be formally presented to the Advertising Regulators Council of Nigeria. And the sectoral groups working with Alcon will then, via conversations, via engagements, look at how to implement some of these issues that have been discussed, some of these comments that have been passed, because at the end of the day, we believe that the regulator and the players in the industry are looking to grow the industry, not necessarily to stifle the industry. Yeah.
Well, interesting one there. So I was talking about, when I was preparing for this, I saw that despite the global, it's a slow growth, we know, but Nigeria is still losing a lot of money here annually. What can be done to also, try to address this? Are we getting more money? We see a lot of ads and all of that. And is there any competition also around the system, or are you complementing each other?
I think there's a lot of complementary initiatives that are taking place. That's one. Then 2 is also that the quality of work that you see from agencies in Nigeria and from clients in Nigeria have really improved substantially. So we have a lot of commercials that are either shot here, which maybe in the past was not the case. And what you find is that the different players in the industry continue to work together because ultimately the objective is to grow this economy, which is why we're starting with the topic around the economy. So
yes.
how do we grow the economy? How do we make our people more productive? How do we make our SMEs to grow capacity to be able to employ more people? And you know that a lot of the players who service this industry are SMEs, and therefore they employ thousands of people. And therefore, it's very important as you continue to see that as they upskill, whether you're talking production, whether you're talking brand activation activities, whether you're talking media planning, whether you're talking outdoor, is a lot of initiatives, a lot of technology has gone into play today, even in this market, that makes it more confident for the client to say, yes, I'm spending X and I'm getting Y from this.
Interesting. Well, finally, before I let you go, have we fully recovered from the effects of COVID, of course, Russia and Ukraine crisis? It's affecting all segments of the economy, and marketing cannot be out of this, marketing communications. Now, are we back to that pre-COVID level?
We're not back to the pre-COVID level because once we stepped out of COVID and growth started, then Russia then went to war.
Went to war.
Ukraine. And then you then had you had supply chain issues, you had inflation issues. But what has compounded that for us in Nigeria is the issues around exchange issues and other economic issues and insecurity, which we've been managing for a while, and oil theft and the rest of them. So we haven't gone to the pre-COVID period. We haven't. So, but we believe that if you look at the World Bank papers, so they're saying next year growth is going to be slower because, again, we don't know what's going to happen in Russia. So as that continues to happen, the industry would grow. And as it grows, we're then hoping that in the next 2 years, you begin to see strong growth. The other element in Nigeria that is likely to affect growth positively or negatively is the elections. So depending on who is thrown out from that election, who comes up as the leader in Nigeria, because the world is waiting for Nigeria.
Of course.
Africa is waiting for Nigeria. If we have a government that is business-minded, a government that is not looking at business as usual, then that growth will be faster. Because indeed, the challenge that we have is the same thing that is going to be the ingredient for our growth. Because we've been having very slow growth, but with a good leadership in place and with good initiatives, that growth can be faster.
All right, then let me allow you just for 1 minute. So, what more do you want Nigerians to know about this conference, and how are they meeting you? How do they join in Abuja? Those that will be coming and all of that.
Thank you very much. I thought you weren't going to ask that.
No,
question.
go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
thanks. So, you can still register by going online. Just go to National Advertising Conference. Just go to www.nationaladvertisingconference.com. When you go to that website, you click on the website, you see the array of topics that are available. You see all the timing and the program. And then when you get to the bottom of the page, you can click, and then straight away you can register. You can use your card and register, and then it generates a registration code for you. And then when you get to Abuja, pretty much just come in with that registration code, and voila, you are part of the conference. So if you haven't done that already, if you're still thinking maybe not, I think you should actually do that, and it will be good to see you in Abuja.
Thank you so much. I'll be coming with my boss. Mr. Tuji Adeyinka, really nice talking to you, Group Managing Director of Republicom Group, sharing insights and letting us understand what's going to be happening next week at the advertising conference that I'll be holding in Abuja. Thank you so much, and have a great weekend.
Thank you very much, Tolu. Thank you. God bless you.
All right.
Yeah.